Today we're making garlic pork, a traditional Guyanese New Year's Day feast. Over here I have 18 pounds of boneless pork shoulder and 27 whole bulbs of garlic. That's 1.5 bulbs of garlic per pound of pork. And over here I have 9 packages of fresh thyme. That's 1 package for every 2 pounds of pork. Then we have our habanero chilies, our salt, our vinegar, our crock, our garlic grinder, and most importantly, my dad, who is the king of garlic pork. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is do the garlic. I have a little trick for you. So we're going to take some garlic, just like this, and we're going to peel off the skin as much as we can, just very quickly, and separate it into cloves. Just as easy as that. Don't bother to take too much off, because just break the main part off and separate them into cloves, place them in a bowl. Now we're going to cover that bowl with another bowl, and we're going to shake very vigorously for about 15 or 20 seconds, just like this. That should do it. We'll remove the cover, and we're going to take our other bowl, and as you can see, the cloves are peeled quite finely, actually. Whatever isn't done comes off very easily. It's a very quick way of peeling large amounts of garlic. Anyways, once that's done, all your garlic's done, it's time to do the thyme. So we're going to take another bowl here. I have some started. I'm just going to show you quickly. You take it from the top, the way the leaves grow up, and you pull down. And pinch off the top if it's giving you a problem too, because it's so thin. Just like this. It's very labor intensive, but it has to be done. Once all your thyme is done, now we go back to the garlic. We're going to add it to our grinder like this. I've already started some just to show you. And then we're going to grind it until you see it come out the end. There we go. Just like this. Comes out the end, nice and finely minced. Keep adding all your garlic until all your garlic is grinded. Just like this. Next, we're going to move on to the meat. Now we're at the meat. So what we're going to do, here's our pork shoulder. We're going to cut it into about 1.5 inch wide chunks. From there, we're going to go into chunks about 1 inch also across, 1 inch and a bit, so that you have a good sized chunk. Nothing too small, because it'll fall apart when you're cooking it. We're going to place it in the colander set over a bowl, and we're going to continue to do our meat until all our meat is done. Don't be afraid to use large chunks, because it'll shrink during cooking and fall apart if the chunks are too small. So we will continue to do all that until all our meat is done. And then we'll move on to the next step, which is rinsing your meat. Your meat is set over a colander here. I want you to run it under cold water for quite a while until all the water turns clear. There's no murkiness at all. It needs to be clear. Then you're going to set it over the bowl and let it drain for later. Now that our meat has all been washed and drained, it's time to salt the meat. We're going to take the meat from the colander and dump it into a bowl. We're gonna salt it liberally. There's no real amount of salt here that should be predetermined. You just wanna give it a good salting and turn until you see that all the pieces have salt on them and everything like that. Don't over salt and also don't under salt, just so that everything's coated with a fair amount of a fine layer of salt. Just like this. Continue to toss until we find that everything seems to have a bit of salt on it. Just a little bit more on this one. There, just like that. After that, it's into the crock it goes. My crock is here. The meat's prepared. We're gonna put it into the crock right here. There we go. Crock's in. Get rid of this and this. Next, we're gonna put our garlic in. That's not all the garlic. I haven't finished doing it. I'm just showing you the process. After the garlic goes in, we're gonna put the thyme. We have thyme here, fresh, beautiful thyme. Into the crock it goes. Just like this. Just like this. There we go. Lots of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thyme. It smells fantastic. Now we're going to get rid of that. Over here, I have vinegar. I like to start with a 50-50 mix. So what I'm going to do is put 2 cups of vinegar into my crock and 2 cups of cold water. 50-50 seems strong, but some will evaporate over the course of 3 weeks, so I continue to add water to keep the level up to the top of the crock. Once you have that all in the crock, you need to give it a good stir. I like a good wooden spoon here. I have a big strong one that I like. We give it a good mix. And push down on it and move things around and get it all really nice and mixed up. Finally, because that's just about the end, I have some finely sliced habaneros here, which I'm just going to dice into small little dices. Just like that. This will do for now as a demonstration. We're going to add that to the crock. There we go. We're going to give that one more good stir. Just like this. Until it's good and mixed. Peppers are mixed in properly. Then we're going to cover it with a cloth with an elastic band around it. Now we're ready to cover it with the cloth. Place the top over the top, an elastic over this. You move it to a relatively cool place, not near a heater or anything. As cool as you can find in your house without freezing. And we let it sit for 3 weeks. Now you want to stir this every couple of days for that whole 3 weeks. As you see during the week progresses into the next week, the water level is going to go down. You can add more water if you prefer more watery, or more vinegar if you prefer more vinegary. The cooking instructions will follow in the next video. I hope you enjoy, and maybe one day you will wear the shirt and be the king of garlic pork, like my dad.